The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have had one of the most consistently great wide receiver rooms throughout the entire NFL. Dating back to when Mike Evans was a rookie and the duo of him and Vincent Jackson, or if you want to fast forward to when Brady was here and we had Mike, prime Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown, who still had some sauce, you can't lie. Or we can fast forward to today. Losing Mike Evans sucks, it does, yes, but now Chris Godwin is the leader of that room. You have year two, Emeka Egbuka, and Jalen McMillan, who whenever he steps on the field, always overachieves and does more than you think he will, okay? So with new OC Zach Robinson, I don't think he's ever had a receiving core quite like this. In fact, with Chris Godwin in his final go-around, he's 30 now, not in the final year of his contract. This is year two of three of his 3-year deal, okay? And you didn't pay him for year one, okay? Knowing he's coming off a dislocated ankle, knowing he's going to be recovering from injury, you could see him get better and progress throughout the season, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and say that his dislocated ankle was the same as his injury from when Brady was here and the torn ACL, okay? Two different injuries, two different things, but what I can say is that I feel as if Chris Godwin is going to progress in the same way, if you know what I mean, okay? Year two, after the torn ACL, you could see he was doing great and was almost back to full strength, okay? But year three, 2024, the third year after his injury, this dude was leading in almost every statistical category before he got injured. So we know what Chris Godwin can do, okay? At age 30, no one's asking him to go back to 2024 and be that type of receiver, okay? But we know what he can be, all right? Consistent hands, third down target, okay? An extension of the running game when you throw him those screens and he runs behind the O-line, okay? Chris Godwin is going to have to be a veteran, all right? He's going to have to be healthy, of course, but we need that consistency from him, all right? We need him to show these guys like Emeka, who struggled last year in the back end, like McMillan. Hurst is coming in, all right? We need Godwin there, and we need him healthy, okay? Does he need to have 1,000 yards and 20 touchdowns and all these things? No, okay? He's in the locker room for a different reason, but I feel as if people are sleeping on Chris Godwin, and he's going to just continue to get better, so I'm excited to see. I am excited to see. But we talk about consistency, and that's what we're going to need to see out of Emeka Egbuka in year two. I mean, 100%. We saw flashes of greatness across from Mike early in that season last year, okay? 2 touchdowns in week one and the game winner. I mean, our round one rookie receiver was going nuts, all right? It was what it was, and it was fun to watch. It was. But as the season progressed, whether it was his hamstrings, whether defenses adjusted, or if it was Baker's injury, who knows? Who really does know? But in the grand scheme of things, we know what Emeka can be. We know that he can take that next step, and that's what we're going to need to see, okay? These guys around him are going to need to be healthy. The O-line was a big thing as far as the whole offense last year, okay? It affected the passing game and everything, but so what we're going to need to see this year is a big step from Emeka. He's going to play off of these other guys, but he has the talent. He knows what needs to be done. He's a hard worker. Emeka year two, man, I mean, that's what we're going to have to bet on. That's the most excited player that I'm trying to see is Emeka week in and week out, okay? Last year was fun, it was. But this year, it's all business. You're that guy now, and I think he's going to step up to the test 100%, okay? Another guy who always steps up regardless of the situation or whatever is Jalen McMillan, okay? This dude, it was horrible to see him get hurt last year to start out the year. He was primed for such a big role. Coming off his rookie year, scoring 6 straight games to end his rookie season. I mean, you can't end on a higher note than that right there. I mean, the energy that he brings, this dude always, he's got the hands. If the ball's in his vicinity, McMillan is going to catch it, okay? So it's a player, I mean, that guys are sleeping on. A lot of fans are sleeping on, but there are some that are out there who know that McMillan really does have a chance to take the wide receiver one role. Yes, he has the opportunity to take a huge leap this year. Because whenever I've seen him out there, he's always overachieved and he's always done more than what is expected, okay? McMillan is not a household name. He's not talked about as much as the other receivers, but this is a receiver who, yeah, he's probably going to be a free agent to start off your fantasy season. By the middle of it, might not be a guy who will be because he's going to get consistent targets And, I mean, like we said, Zach Robinson is coming in. That pre-snap motion. He led the league last year. And a player like McMillan is going to be a benefactor of that, of the pre-snap motion. He's going to get open. Same with Emeka. But McMillan, I mean, that's going to jump off the page for him. You know what I mean? He's going to be a factor in that way. And they're going to scheme him up nicely. And, yeah, we're excited for Jalen McMillan. So if you haven't heard that he has the wide receiver one potential, I threw it out there. It might be crazy. But McMillan is a slept-on receiver. And it just is what it is, okay? All right? That's a top three. It's going to be hard to crack that top three, especially from what we've seen. Okay, injuries are going to happen, yes, but third-round pick rookie Ted Hurst is one of those guys that has a chance to crack the top three, okay? I mean, we saw what he did at Georgia State, albeit it was at Georgia State, okay? But he stayed loyal to them. He could have gone to other schools, Power 4, whatever schools, but he stayed. He did his thing. He wore the Uno. And if you know you're wearing that Uno at Georgia State, you're going to be a good football player, all right? Round 3, I will take that lottery shot. I'll take it, you know what I mean? Because Ted Hurst has the size. He has the hands. He's one of those 50-50 balls, okay? When we talk about losing Mike Evans, this is a guy that you might not be as huge, all right? You might not have that size, but you have something, okay? And that, like we said, the DBs down there, all right, it is what it is. We'll acknowledge that. But early on, if this dude is creating separation and winning against NFL DBs in training camp and in preseason, I mean, he better have some packages to get him out on the field because Hurst is going to be an exciting player to watch. I really think that this is a guy, same with everyone else, they have the potential to be great. You know, a lot has to go in to them producing and putting up consistent stats, but Ted Hurst is a great wild card guy to have in your offense to where, yeah, he doesn't need to have 75, 100 yards per week, but you put him in there on a couple red zones, third downs, and other situations, he's going to excel. And I think that Zach Robinson is going to do that. There's a reason we took him in round 3, and it seemed like our guys up there were pretty hyped up to be able to select him. So super hyped to see him as well, okay? We'll move into the back end of the room, all right? Tez Johnson is also a fan favorite. Guys know him here in the Buccaneers fan base, all right? The big thing for Tez is going to have to be playing a role in special teams, okay? He is a gadget-type player, all right? We saw him catch some big passes. I mean, in Detroit, didn't he, break some tackles and do a 360 and all this other stuff to score? So we know Tez Johnson has an X factor and really can make a difference in the NFL. I was a doubter early on because of that size and all of that, but he has the energy. It's a spark. It really is. And the main thing for him is going to have to be contributing in that punt and kick return unit, all right? Maybe someone else is going to end up being that kick and punt returner, but you know, as a Bucs fan, that is an area that we need to see improve with a new special teams coordinator and all that. Man, just fair catch it when you need to. Catch it when you need to, inside the 5, outside the 10-yard line. I don't know. I'm not a kick returner. But what I do know is that the Bucs are consistently bad in that area. And yeah, I hope Tez Johnson can go out there and be a great receiver and all these things. But more realistically, I want to see him be a great punt returner. Because, man, if we can just not even return him so far all the time, just don't catch it in the wrong spot and set the offense up for failure. Because, like I say, as a Bucs fan, we have been used to that. So, yeah, I mean, there are other names. Garrett Green, I believe, is still in the mix. You have, Cameron Johnson as well, who we talk about the special teams room. He can have the same exact role as Tez, as between them two. So, very excited for the Bucs wide receiver room. We didn't even get into the tight ends because Zach Robinson is more than likely going to use some 12 personnel and all that. So, we'll see what happens with the rookie tight end. Having Devin Culp, I believe he's a great receiving tight end. Maybe he's not the best in the trenches. I don't know why he's not getting his looks yet, but paying Durham as well. And so, of course, we paid Cade Otton middle of the pack money, about $10 million, but he did enough to stay around, and he will be the starter this year. So, yeah, hope the best for this Buccaneer wide receiver room. Hope the best for health throughout the whole team. Bucky, the O-line, everyone involved. Let me know who you're most excited to see. Ted Hurst is going to jump off the page. Emeka, obviously, it was a first-round pick. You want to see him, but, man, to say Chris Godwin might be a sleeper is crazy. A lot of people are not choosing him to go so crazy this year, but I think it's going to be the consistency that separates him is going to do some great things this year and hopefully end up with 1,000 plus yards, all right? So let's do it. Give me your hot takes. You know what's going on. It's Jared from the 941. We'll see y'all soon.